All right, last section, activity 12.3, up and down with the Piccards. Number 1, Challenger Deep is the deepest known point in the ocean at 35,814 feet below sea level. So if you're below sea level, it's a negative number. In 1960, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh rowed down in the Trieste and became the first people to visit the Challenger Deep. So part A, if sea level is represented by 0 feet, explain how you can represent the depth of a submarine descending from sea level to the bottom of Challenger Deep. Well, if we're at sea level, right? So if we're at 0 and we're going down, right, if we're going down from sea level, then those are just negative numbers. So we can represent them by just using negative numbers. All right, so the Trieste descent was a change in depth of negative 3 feet per second. We can use the relationship y equals negative 3x to model this, where y is the depth in feet and x is the time in seconds. Using this model, how much time would the Trieste reach the bottom? All right, so first, so if it's going negative 3 feet per second, we need to finish our equation because y is basically the distance, negative 3 is our rate, x is the time because y equals 3 negative 3x is the same format as the distance equals the rate multiplied by the time. We are trying to solve for the time because it says how much time would the Trieste reach the bottom. The distance was the 35,814 feet. That's my y value, so I'm going to substitute it. So I have 35,814 equals negative 3x. And to solve for x, you're dividing the distance by the rate, or your k value, which is negative 3, by 35,814. All right, so it's a positive divided by a negative, which is going to give me a negative number. So 35,814 divided by negative 3 is negative 11,938 seconds. That doesn't even look like seconds. That's a lot of seconds. I wonder how many minutes that would be. So I would have to divide that by 90, not 90, what am I saying? 60, which is about 198.9 minutes. All right, even though the answer we wanted in seconds, I thought it'd be cool to figure out how many minutes as well. So 198 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and star that. All right, take note of this. All right, moving right along. Part C. So it took the Trieste 3 hours to ascend back to sea level. So ascending means to go up. So that's a positive change. This can be modeled by a different relationship, y equals kx. What is the value of k in this situation? Okay. So the distance is still 35,000 nope, Nope, not y equals. No, that's right. Y equals kx. Our y value is 35,814. We don't know our k value. Our time is in hours, which is 3 hours. But we want to change our 3 hours to seconds. So we have to figure out how many seconds are in 3 hours. Wow, guys, I have no idea what's going on with my pen. There we go. So to change 3 hours to seconds, I have to multiply my 3 hours by the number of minutes in each hour, and then multiply that by the number of seconds in each hour. So 3 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60, that equals 10,800 seconds. So I'm just going to replace that with my 3 because we want it in seconds. Okay, now to find my k value, it's y divided by x. So 35,814 divided by 10,800. 35,814 divided by 10,800. So my k value is approximately 3.31 feet per second. Because it's ascending, that's why it's positive. Feet per second. Moving right along to question, what question are we on? 2. All right. So the design of the tryst was based on the design of a hot air balloon built by Auguste Picard, Jackie's father. In 1932, Augusta rode in his hot air balloon up to a record-breaking height. All right, so Augusta's ascent took 7 hours and went up 51,683 feet. Write a relationship to represent his ascent from his starting location. So if the hot air balloon is on the ground, so that is 0, right? So we need to figure out how many feet it went up per second. Just like how we did with the 3 hours, we have to find how many seconds are in 7 hours. So it's 7 multiplied by the number of minutes in an hour, multiplied by the number of seconds in an hour. 7 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60, that equals 25,200 seconds. Okay, there's our time. We have our distance. We need to find our k value to write our equation. So my final distance is 51,683 feet equals k, which is the feet per second, and the number of seconds is 25,200. I have to find my k value by doing y divided by x. So k equals 51,683 divided by 25,200, which is approximately get rid of that arrow, 2.05 feet per second. All right, so it took in 7 hours, it has a rate of 2.05 feet per second. Okay, so now for part B, it says Augusta's descent took 3 hours and went down. So the descent, if as a descent means it's going down. So now I have a negative rate because we're going down. Same thing, I need to take 3 hours and find the number of seconds. So 3 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60. Which equals 10,800 seconds. But we're going down 52,940 feet. So that's a negative number. So my y value is negative 52,900. We don't know the k value because that's what we're solving for. And my seconds is 10,800. So I need to find my k value, which is negative 52,940 divided by 10,800. A negative divided by a positive is going to give me a negative number. So my k value is going to have a negative rate. And it's approximately negative 4.90 feet per second. Right, so it's going negative 4.9 feet per second. So it looks like the descent is faster than it was ascending. Oh, sorry, I forgot to write the equation. So now that we have our k value, we can write the equations for these. So for A, my equation would be y equals 2.05x. And then for the second equation, it would be y equals negative 4.90x. My bad. Okay, so for the last part, did Auguste Picard end at a greater or lesser altitude than his starting point? Well, he ascended 51,683 feet, but he descended 52,940 feet. So he actually descended more. So he ended up at a lesser altitude because he descended more, and we could figure that out by subtracting those two. All right, so 52,940 subtract 51,683. So he descended an extra 1,257. So his ending elevation, Fluffy, go away. Ending elevation is negative 1,257 feet because he went below sea level now.